everybody, I'm Mrs. Schultz. I'm going to be your chemistry teacher for this semester. I'm excited to be working with you this year, and I thought I would just record a little welcome video for you to kind of introduce myself and give you a sense of who I am and what's going on here as we move into the new semester. I'm happy to have all of you here. I'm excited. This is going to appear to be a pretty big class, so I think we're going to have a lot of fun, have a lot of opportunity to work with each other, and work with students in other schools. So I think that'll be a wonderful opportunity for everybody. We've got a very large group of chemistry students this year, which is great. I'm excited to be able to offer you the opportunity to learn chemistry. I've got a lot of experience, as you've probably learned from some of my other profiles. I've got about 15 years of experience, mostly teaching chemistry and physics, although I've taught everything all the way from 7th grade all the way up to senior physics. But chemistry is really my class where I've spent most of my time and I have most of my experience. And so I'm very, very excited to be teaching chemistry with you guys. I love the subject. I think it's great, which I realize is a little bit strange. It's not necessarily everyone's cup of tea, but I get really excited about being able to lead students from a feeling of frustration and fear and concern about a topic into understanding and comfort with a lot of those topics and those ideas. And so that's something I'm very, very good at, working with chemistry students, and I have a lot of experience and a lot of time spent on the job, answering people's questions and whatnot. So I want to visit with you a little bit about what's going to be happening in our class, just to kind of get you a little bit more comfortable as you're navigating here through the first couple of days. Obviously, these first few days, you're going to be getting some orientation on how to work with Iowa Learning Online, how to work with the new medium of working in an online class if you've not already had experience with that. You're also going to be getting familiar with me, getting familiar with your classmates, and so on and so forth. You're also going to be starting to do some work with the chemistry. You'll notice as we go through that the chemistry is kind of broken down by weeks. That's a good general guideline for you for when you should be working on things and the order that it needs to be done in, and how quickly you should be getting it done. I've set the weekly deadlines based on each section, each block of each unit, and when it should be done. But I have not set individual assignment deadlines, and I want to talk with you for a moment about that and the reason I did that. Part of the reason I did that is because everybody here got different schedules, and we have students from different schools and all of that. So rather than trying to get everybody's school schedule and figure out, okay, when are people going on breaks, when are big trips happening, so on and so forth, that stuff that always just comes up through the school year, rather than trying to manage all of that through the class, what I've done is I've given you a little bit longer deadlines and then let you guys kind of look at your own schedules and go, okay, when am I going to have time to work on this class? When am I going to have the time to participate in the forums and do the experiments and things like that? Because there are deadlines in place, but there's a lot of flexibility within that. So for example, if you've got a big trip coming up on Friday, you can do all of your work for the week on Monday or Tuesday or maybe even Wednesday, giving you plenty of time to start to get feedback, get any assignments back that you may need to get back in order to work on some more, give you some time for that before you're going to be gone. But that is going to require a little bit of planning on your part, because you're going to have to be aware of, okay, what's coming up here over the next week or two, and how do I need to structure my schedule to accommodate that. But being that you guys are probably sophomores and juniors, maybe even some seniors, this is a good skill for you to learn as you move forward and go forward into your life where, there aren't deadlines, so to speak, as far as, you have to have X and X and X done by this time, except, perhaps maybe in your work life, to a less regimented degree than what you've been accustomed to. And so I left you some flexibility. A couple of words of caution. Do not wait to do all of the assignments until Friday. That is a really bad plan. I have students who do it, and 1 out of 10 are successful at it. 10 out of 10 think they can do it. But about 1 out of 10 actually can do it. And the other 9 end up either not being able to complete because they don't have enough time, they don't do well because they're rushing through everything, or they can't complete it because they don't know what they're doing and they didn't allot enough time in order to get help. Nobody ever thinks at the beginning that those situations are going to apply to them, but I can guarantee you that at one point or another, you are going to be one of those people. And so you do not want to wait until the very last minute in order to get your work in. Also, it's a really bad policy to turn everything in, especially if you know that there are several other people doing that, at the very last minute so that your teacher has everything in the entire unit to grade all at once from everybody. That's very frustrating for me. And you can bet that if I am frustrated and irritated and got, 75 assignments to grade, you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt necessarily. And you don't want to put yourselves in that position. And also there is a deadline as far as like if you turn in work that has missing attachments or doesn't have all of its parts, or you handed in the wrong file and so it's only half there because you saved it under 2 different names or what have you. And that type of stuff happens more than you would think. If that happens and you've waited until the very last minute, it's going to be graded as is. Whereas if you would have handed it in a little early, before the absolute last deadline, I can look at that and go, I don't think you meant to send me a file that only has 2/3 of it done. I think you meant to send me the entire file. Why don't you send that to me? And so I can reassign that to you without penalty so that you can send me the correct file. Or this assignment does not actually have its attachment. Please correct that. Whereas if you, wait till that last minute, I'm not going to be as inclined to do that. And I'm also not going to have the time because there's a deadline and I have too many other things to grade. And so do yourselves a favor and work on it a little bit at a time. Also, educationally, it's a bad idea to wait till the last minute because oftentimes with new concepts, you need to have time in order to let them absorb mentally. I had an old physics professor who called sitting and stewing in it is what he would phrase that as. And it's just this idea of letting your brain process and work on a new concept in order to more fully understand it. We've all been in that situation where we're learning something new. It makes a lot of sense when the teacher is talking. Totally can do it when she's up there, going on and on and on. And you can probably do it for about 2/3 of the homework, but even by the end of the homework, you're still kind of like, I'm not 100% sure I've got this. I'm not 100% sure that I fully understand why I'm doing this. How many times have you learned how to do an operation, but you have no idea why you're doing it? Those types of things. They're not necessarily where you would want to call in and have a specific question. You just don't feel really certain on the material. And so what you want to do there is you want to just kind of let it sit for a day or two and let your brain ponder and go over the content. Let it kind of absorb what it can. And then it'll help to formulate questions that are going to be more useful for you. And it'll also help you to feel more confident before you were to go on, for example, and take the quiz. And so you want to make sure that you allot time for that. Just being able to work on it a little bit at a time, let things absorb, let things come more naturally, rather than trying to cram it all in at the end. That becomes really problematic down the line as the content becomes more and more and more complicated. Because if you're missing little bits, each little bit may not have hurt you particularly within the unit, but because it's cumulative, those little bits can add up, and then 4 or 5 units down the line, you're in really big trouble because you don't have the background that you need in order to understand the concepts. So we want to try to avoid that as much as possible. Also, if you wait until the last minute, it makes it really hard for me to help you. If everybody's waiting until Friday to ask all of their questions, you're gonna have 30 people in the Zoom meeting, all trying to ask their questions all at the same time. Oftentimes, you'll find that you and your classmates all have the same type of question, but it becomes very, very difficult if I've got a variety of people all trying to ask me questions at the same time. And then what happens is oftentimes nobody gets a really good answer because I'm trying to divide my attention too many ways, or you don't get to narrow down the focus of your question. So you get a little bit of background, but not really answering the question that you had. Or I simply can't get to you because there are just too many people. And so you don't want to put yourself in that position. So please take advantage of the entire week to work and then give yourself an opportunity to kind of sit and stew in the material, think about it, and work your way through it. A few other notes about the class. I also teach physics here at Iowa Learning Online, so you'll notice through our Zoom meetings that occasionally I'll have physics students in. The reason I have Zoom hours the way that I do, I have them from 1:30 to 3:30 every day, is I work for a different online school teaching chemistry and physics in the mornings, and so the afternoons are when I'm available to help you guys, which is good because it appears that a lot of people's schedules are actually leaning more towards the afternoon, which is super. If you find that you are not one of those lucky people who happen to have class periods over my Zoom meeting time, I'm sorry about that. Unfortunately, I can't meet everybody's schedule short of being available all day long, which I can't do because of other commitments. What you can do, however, is you can go, okay, I can't make it to your Zoom meetings. Could you please, arrange a time in the evenings, perhaps, to go over this material, and I can visit with you when I'm at home. And I would be happy to do that. I do need 24 hours notice if you want to do something like that. So please do not do it. Don't send me an email at 7 p.m. the night before the test and then expect me to be able to rearrange everything in order to be able to do a private Zoom meeting with you before the test on, on Friday afternoon or what have you. That's just not going to work. It's not because I don't want to, but I do have, a family, and I am the primary caregiver of my 2-year-old, and then I also have this other job that I'm doing. And so I have a lot of meetings. I have a lot of other things that I have to attend. So I need to make sure that I can move things around and jiggle my schedule some so as to be able to meet with you. So I do need at least 24 hours notice for that, just so that I can make arrangements so that I can meet with you reasonably unhindered. Unhindered. There we go. I was trying to combine 2 words there. And we can get done what needs to be done. More often than not, I can answer most of your questions in 5 minutes or less if we can actually get connected at a time. But we need to be able to concentrate for that 5 or 10 minutes to be able to get that question answered. So the best time to reach me is during my Zoom sessions that I'm going to have every single day, Monday through Friday. If you're not available during those times, let me know. We can make other arrangements. You can also email me anytime. Once again, I'm working for another school in the morning, so I might not get to your email in the morning, but I will try to make sure that I get to it in the afternoon if you do email me. And then you can also call me. I've given you my phone number. I may or may not be able to pick up. That's, once again, I might be working with other students. I might be doing other things. So I might not be able to pick up. But you can always leave me a voicemail. You can also send me texts. And I don't have texting on my phone, so I can't text you back. But what I can do is I can read anything you send to me. And so go ahead, you can send me texts, and then I can reply to you via email. Once again, there may be a delay because I've got several other irons in the fire, but I will try to get back to you as quickly as I can. I need a little bit of forbearance there as far as I'm not going to be able to always respond immediately to your situation, depending on what's going on. So you do have my complete and undivided attention between 1:30 and 3:30 every day. But beyond that, we might have to jiggle some things around, and I'm happy to do it. I just need to know. So yeah, those are the best ways to get a hold of me. I would always suggest Zoom room first, then my email. If you're still not hearing anything or you need something right away, try calling me. Most people are kind of uncomfortable with that, but if I am not busy doing something, I will pick up the phone. And so try calling me, and if that doesn't work, then send me a text or send me an email, and I will get back to you. It just sometimes takes a little time. If I have not responded to you within 24 hours, send me a message in Genius, or send me another email, or or come to my Zoom room, or do something to let me know, because you might be sitting in my junk mail, and I might not even realize that you're there. So I'm not trying to ignore you. I may literally not know that you're there, and so I need to make sure to get you out of the junk file if that's where you ended up. Hopefully that won't be an issue, but just in case. Otherwise, it's going to be a great semester. I'm excited to work with all of you. If you have any questions, please feel free to email, send me messages, come to my Zoom meetings. I'm happy to help you in any way that I can. Your coaches are also here to help you, so please take advantage of them. We're going to try to work together to make sure that you have a great semester, that you stay on task, that you stay on time, and that you're able to complete the class and be successful. But, you want to do kind of, follow the guidelines a little bit. Take my suggestions, please. I have a lot of experience, and so I know from experience what the common pitfalls are. I'm going to try and help you to not fall into those, but, there's only so much that I can do. So I look forward to meeting with all of you. Watch your class news and announcements. You're going to find that I'm going to periodically put videos up there. I might do tutorials from time to time. We're going to have online classrooms periodically to cover commonly misunderstood material together. And that's where I'm going to put all of the information about when classes are going to be. I'm also going to try to link to the videos there. So please subscribe to those and make sure that you're keeping an eye on that, because a lot of information is going to get disseminated that way. And so I want to make sure that you're getting to take advantage of it. So if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I am very excited to work with you guys this semester. And you guys have a great day. And thank you very much for watching.